Hello, good people. God is good, and I am great. I have a message because I've been in I would say, a reflection period, creating balance in my mind, my body, and my soul. And what came to me these past couple of days was 2 Timothy, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 7. And it reads, "For God had not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Anything other than that is not of God. I, in my lifetime, have had to go forcibly and at times willingly, voluntarily, to go and get what I call a tune up with the negative energies and circumstances that I unfortunately had to go through in life. I would voluntarily go and get what I call a tune up. And that means to go somewhere and have therapy and speak with doctors and learn coping skills, get meals, have privacy, um, interact with other people who can relate, that will not judge me. And it was an enlightening experience. And that's why I call it a tune up. Because when you are experiencing things in life where others are verbally, physically, spiritually, any type of abuse, that's a place where you can go and have peace, to regroup, to ground, to gather all your thoughts and process them. Um, and I encourage anyone who is just not feeling like themselves, or if you're going through an abusive situation, or you just feel, you know, like you've lost hope or you lost faith, that would be a great starting place to divert you, to take you away from um, environments that may cause you a bit of chaos. And it worked out for me. What came to my mind was one isolated incident that I had with a Trump supporter. And this one particular incident, I was forced into a situation where I was taken to a transfer facility before I was transported to another facility. But anyway, when I made it to the other facility, staff had called me out. She said, "There's some gentlemen here to see you." And I said, "Who?" She said, "Just follow me." And they escorted me to a private room. And I was sitting there with some CIA agents who stated that the nursing staff at the transfer facility called them and said that I was going to kill Donald Trump. I cannot make this stuff up. At that point in my life, with everything that had happened and was done to me, I spoke truthfully. I had shared with these gentlemen how I went to the NAACP to seek justice on the crimes committed against me and my child. I said, if you check in your database, you will see that I submitted an email, a statement asking Trump to pardon me of the crime, the fraudulent crime that my father had placed against me. And that's probably the conversation that she heard me when I called a certain person. I said, you know what, I'm waiting to hear back from, what I sent to the White House. Because at that time, it was televised on the news that Trump had gave a pardon to Lil Wayne, and there was another artist that he gave a pardon to, Kodak Black. And I was like, you know what? He seems like he's in a great mood. I said, this is my chance. I am fighting for my justice. I'm finna submit this, you know, and do XYZ, what the NAACP told me to do. And I'm finna do XYZ. And so I spoke my truth to those agents because at that time I was forced to be in that situation because I was working for a group home as a live-in, a firefighter on that group home. Some of my job descriptions were medication, transportation. I lived there. I gave out medicine. I fixed food. I gave snacks. I took them to appointments with their doctors, with their psychiatrists. If they had to go check in to certain places when they were unstable, I would take them, sit there with them until they got placed in the back. Um, there was really only 4 or 5 of us, and there were probably like 60 plus people, and only 2 of us had license to drive. Maybe 2 or 3 people had license to drive to transport these people where they had to go during the week. But anyway, after I had made it over a year at that place, because I wasn't just, we were being wronged as staff. Let me just say that. I was being paid $10 a day. And I had built, a relationship with some of those people because I could empathize and sympathize with them. And I wanted to be there and help them as well as help myself in that situation. But I was trying to come up with a resolve as to how I was being paid after I had been there for over a year. This man called the police on me when I was trying to discuss him paying me properly. Prior to the police coming, they did an inspection of the home. I gave them my ID. I walked them around. We passed inspection. The officers who came out and inspected the place knew I was an employee. So, I mean, for him to abuse his authority and call some officers to come and handle me, they tased me. They hog-tied me in the front yard in a net. And then they placed me in the back of the cop car and took me to a transfer facility. where the nurse overheard a conversation and then called the CIA and said that I wanted to kill President Trump. Me, someone who supposedly was coming there to receive some kind of psychiatric help. And I'm sharing this with you all because this is very serious, where we have nursing staff. And I say this to say, because a person has a certain type of career does not mean they have a good character. Just because a person has materialistic things does not mean they have good intentions. As I continued to explain the things that had happened to the CIA, and as far as what happened to me with the accident with my family, with them taking everything, you know, I had faith at that point that if they flew all the way down here, that God was going to make my enemies my footstool. And I kept it moving. It was unfortunate that those things happened. When I was released, I called the Department of Aging and Disability Services and I made a statement as it pertains to the treatment of those clients and as it pertained to how they treated me. I also went to the Department of Labor and reported the wages that they were paying me as well as others. I received a letter denying me of any wages. Um, and I did not agree with it. And I took it a step further and I reached out to the EEOC. So it's important in life that no matter what we're going through, we should always treat people how we want to be treated and exercise our rights. And I've been doing that throughout my whole journey, throughout my healthcare careers, um, not just to protect me, but just to protect others. So I just thought I'd share that with y'all because I have had to experience things like that. So, not only have I had to heal from abuse from people I know, I had to heal from abuse of people that I worked for, that I helped build their businesses and things of that nature. And it's just like I couldn't do nothing but go to God and be like, "God, who is these people? Like, they're inhumane. It's not natural. It's not of the light. It's not righteous." But I'm glad that I have blind faith because I know that things had to have been happening for me and not to me because of how all that went down. And I know if the CIA is going to do anything as it pertains to an investigation, it's going to be done in secret. I encourage all employees and I encourage business owners, appreciate your staff, and people in positions. Work accordingly to the policies of your company. And nurses, if somebody's there to receive help, don't make it harder on them and call the CIA on a mental patient before you even assess the patient or the situation. So I'm glad that I got my tune-ups when I need to get my tune-ups. It was very important to me to not be aggressive, to not take the law into my own hands, because I wanted God to bring me justice proper way. I'm not a violent person because your words have power. I feel like I should say what I want and need to say, and whether you like it or not, we can agree to disagree and go our own way. But when people are in authority and they are abusing their authority, that's unacceptable according to the laws of the land and the laws that are in heaven. If it had not been for the Lord, I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be. So every day, I give God a thank you, a hug, a pat on the back, a cheer. I do a dance. He know I will. Y'all know I will. God don't play about his children. And I just sit back and I just let the enemy do the work for me. I know I can identify him. I know what he's capable of. I know what he gonna do. He gonna call the police on himself and say, I did something to them. It's a never ending story until someone stops them. So I'm gonna say, make every day great again meets make America great again. Have a blessed day.